just to drive down there in the middle of March. It's still snowing back at home in Ohio, and just pack up the stuff and go down there and hope for the best is pretty much the best you can do. Actually, towards the end of last year, my dad won the XX class at Englishtown over there. I couldn't make it, so he drove the car and won the XX class, but lost the runoff to Barton. So we knew we were heading in the right direction. Well, during the off season, we worked a lot on the Showdown car. Particularly, we got a new engine from Chris that picked us up quite a bit. There's always something you can tinker with and make it better for the next one. So we felt pretty good going into Gainesville.
We always want to be the fastest and show our engines off. The horsepower that they can make, and there's nothing better than putting quick ETs on the scoreboard. And that's always been my main objective, and not just for me, for my customers to be fast as well. And our car in the beginning of the year was very finicky. It either blow the tires off or wheel stand, and so we were playing with shocks and struts, and basically, Mickey Thompson tire, we screwed it to the wheel, and that helped us tremendously. We were really trying to beat him, and we missed the setup. And he's got a very good car, and that thing goes down the track every time, and they got that car dialed in, and at that time we were still kind of lost.
Of course, we went down the week before and ran the Cobra Jet shootout, and that gave us a little bit of testing time with all the new fresh combinations and stuff. We had a little problems with the blower a little bit, so we air freighted one in overnight and got it there for Gainesville. We were ready to go there, but we kind of still had some test runs. There's still some questions about how fast we could go and everything else.
What kind of threw a curveball this year was, the fastest run is your dial-in for the final. So now it's playing the sandbagging game.
Well, that is an advantage to somebody that if you know your opponent, what they should run and what you should run, you shouldn't never have to run the car out unless that's what it takes. And even against Bruno in the final, I had a little bit. He spun, so I shut off a little bit. You really never want to show your hand. We build new cars almost every year, so that's what we went. We try to make the cars a little better. We also continue to work on our engine program every race. Every race we pull the motor out, send it back, and we do R&D work until the next race. I'm lucky to ever get the motor back until the week of the race.
Going into Englishtown, we were pretty fast at Gainesville, so we thought we were there. But then you get to the sea level air, and then Arnett showed up in the Copo, and Chris went home and worked on his stuff pretty hard after Gainesville then, and came out, and they were kind of like a whole tenth faster than me, so probably 700 or 800 faster.
.838 and being at the time the fastest stock eliminator ever, was, and just beating out the Copo, that did it earlier that weekend. That was a big highlight. That came about basically we were still kind of playing with wheel and tire combinations, and we were chasing our tail in the first round. I felt pretty confident that we could get down the track and it was going to be fast. And to be honest with you, the 38 shocked me. I didn't think it'd be that fast.
We've tested faster. Yeah, at that time, and like I say, I actually went there with the new rules of trying to qualify last. And actually I went to 1,000 foot the first qualifier and actually ended up first, which I knew we were fast, but it's the first time we really got to run the car like we wanted in good air. So it's all a cat and mouse game. It doesn't always work like you want it to, but we were fortunate. We had a great year with it.
got some good wins. Won against Arnett on the light reaction time. That was a whole shot win. Chris blew the tires off, which was a little unfortunate for him.
Kevin, he was fast, and so we kind of turned the wick up a little too much, and these cars are very finicky on the starting line, and we gave it a little too much power, and it just blew the tires off. And
same thing happened with Bo. How the race worked out, it actually kind of got hot. So the sun came out, heated up the track a little bit, got it a little tricky, and we were able to still go down the track, and they had little traction issues, and that got us the win. We skated by on that one.
I love winning, because you show me a guy that likes losing, then he's a loser, and but on the other hand, when you see your customer, especially when it's a father and son deal, and they're out there enjoying the race, that makes me real happy.
Here comes wheel-standing rapid Roy Hill here in the Summit Lane. It was Hill who carried the front. Look at him go again! Roy Hill's going to the bumper hole! Man, a violent landing, and he is into the wall on the Summit Lane. Boy, oh boy, what a ride for Hill.
I should not have even been up first round. We made some good qualifying runs. That's when the new Dodge was unveiled, Barton, and he's very, very fast. And they did a good job with it. But we knew we were going in a little bit behind, but first run, they go to call us up, and my starter quits. And this is when they were starting to run, because I like to lay around in the back. So I had Pro Stock crew and my main crew, Daryl Heron and all my guys. They jumped in there, pulled the header off, did it, and I ran that run. The guy waited for me. It was Henson, another Ford car. And we made that first round. We won it. Won it with only half the header bolts in it. We had to do whatever we can do to get it.
Chris Holbrook and Kevin Skinner, the Supercharged Mustang Cobra Jet. Skinner from Grove City, Ohio. Chris Holbrook from Livonia, Michigan. Chris Holbrook's car is a terror. Whoa, look at the wheel stand for Holbrook. He carries it way out there. He set it down gently. That might have given enough to Kevin Skinner to get around him. At the top end of the racetrack, it will be Skinner.
That final with Kevin, we just, again, we got after it a little too much, and instead of spinning the tires, the track was so good, it went on the back bumper, and we had to pedal it, and he went on, and beat us,
Having to run Barton, I think we talked about it, that I told Randy Lynn, listen, he's going to have to spin. I hope for a tire spin shootout, and just who can catch it first, but it fell our way 1,000. He and I have raced here last year. I won the race by 1,000. That race right there was 7-10,000.
Call at the top end. He's got a fender. He's got anything for Butner? No. A whole shot win for Bo Butner.
He and I have fun. When we've kind of grown closer. I didn't know him much. I know the name, but we have fun, and it's a good competitor. And when people enjoy the Dodge, Ford, and the Chevy shootouts.
Factory Stock Showdown. This is a category that was very fun to announce and call yesterday.
Bo's always good. He's always good on the tree. He always gets it down the track. He's done this a while. He knows what to do. So it's always a mental game. You got to be good. It's the same thing with Chris. So it's just a tough job to get it done. I thought I had that race won, and I clearly didn't. Or I had him ET-wise, but I don't know. I thought I could lay off on the tree a little bit, and it was a little bit too much.
With the switch when the tree came down is Bo Butner. Can he hold it off? You bet he can. 895 with a 3 at 149 miles.
Bo didn't get that memo, I guess. He was still 015 and drove it down there and took the win. So you can't ever take anything for granted in this. And it's just I'm young, and that was a little learning experience for me.
Shot myself in the foot this race. I don't like to lose, and none of us like to lose. We come here to win, but we were up against, there was 3 X cars, and actually probably the top 3 in each make, with a Chevy, Ford, and Mopar. Mopar's really got an advantage right now. We worked on it. I think we narrowed it up a little bit. We ran close, but had a chance to win, and but like I say, we never stop working on this. We will build a new car for next year.
Couple of guys in the 100 club and qualified.
So the head start's going to go to David Barton.
Yeah, David always knows how to hold some back and run it. He runs his car really well. So I was pretty worried about what was going to happen, but we had a pretty strong headwind, and it looks like their body might be a little bit bigger than ours, more frontal area. So the headwind might not have affected me as much or anything, but that was another thing. Just got to go up and hope for the best.
Right. There goes Dave Barton. Here comes Kevin Skinner. So they go to the left there. David pulls that baby back in, right on down that summit lane, top end. Red light says Kevin Skinner, 8:59:155.
You know, I mean, he's, like you said, blow the tires off against Bo, or had a bad light, or red lighted, or there's a million things to lose in racing, but there's only one way to win. You just got to do it all right. So.
Okay, right here. 1, 2, 3.
Hopefully the popularity of the class, definitely more people like it. There's a lot of people coming up asking about it. We had 2 or 3 guys that we've never even met before, but they follow the races from out here on the West Coast and come to this race to see us. They knew me, they knew Chris. I'm sure they're going over and seeing Bo. And
the people love this class, and I hope somebody takes off with it, because I get so much more. I've said it before. People love these Cobra Jets. They love the Copos. I get way more exposure, it seems like, other than the TV time, than I do in a Pro Stock car. I was signing autographs last night on Fremont Street, and every other person I talk to, they bring up the Cobra Jet. Why aren't you running a Ford and Pro Stock? I mean, the people love it, and somebody needs to take off and run with it.
Ford it's a very good company, and for them to stand behind the sportsman racer, that just means a lot, you know. And I think they get more out of the sportsman racer than they do, you know, say a pro car or something, you know, because this is what people can buy and drive on the street pretty much, you know. I think the fans love it, and I think it's great for the sport, and it's great for the, you know, the big three, the Ford, GM, and Chrysler, you know. I know my dad's probably pretty happy up there looking down, you know, but I think it's pretty good.